Greetings, listeners and viewers. Your host for the night, Zach, here, introducing you to The Call 1973, a Call of Cthulhu podcast by Twisted Gears Studios. This was recorded over a year ago, so many of the learnings over the past year of recording The Call you may not notice are present. You won't see any inclusion of luck or penalty dice. However, Derek will be showing off a set of dice made by our friends over at Divine Soul Dice. Our Ko-fi has undergone some changes as well. You'll now find 3 tiers. Please click the video link below for an in-depth overview of what that all looks like. For each month that you are in the Creative Collaborator tier, your name will go into a draw. At the end of the arc, I will draw the winner at the end of that episode's finale, and we will get your info to send you the dice that Derek used to mess with us in the sessions you're about to listen to. So thank you, Divine Soul Dice, for the custom 1973 inspired resin dice set. Also, if you want to support the channel in other ways, we have a merch shop. So grab some shirts, hats, mugs. We'll be changing up the shop every once in a while, so stay tuned for when changes happen. But for now... Last we left our investigators, members of the team have come across a mysterious swarm as they have rested in the Agroville. As they continue to the hospital, they find more evidence of a prior group having been here.
You're in your Kaiser Jeep, heading on the road toward the hospital. Carolyn is driving. She is a great driver, better than anyone else in the group.
That was unexpected, to be honest.
Well, you do have a 60. That's like a professional, could be professional, almost stunt driver level.
I thought,
well, not really a stunt driver, but like... Yeah. That's quite a proficient.
It's above average.
High-speed chase driver.
Average is 50, yeah.
No,
not for driving.
The average should be
right
50.
because now
Average should be 50.
yeah. Either way, you're heading
You're
down
halfway
to
to
this.
mastery.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Either way, you're heading through the road, which seems to be a bit more cleared off. It's still overgrown. Don't get me wrong, but it's it's quite bumpy. It is not an upkept road though. But like there's not as much. It seems to be, wildlife and stuff has been cleared, so it's fairly clear as you start heading through the jungle. You're traveling for. It's windy and turny. There's not any real turnoffs though. Like once you're on the road, you're on the road.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But you're taking your time. Some areas you're only going, 20 kilometers an hour, or 15, 10, going around holes, stuff like that. So. I will, though, require during this first leg, just trying to gauge any damage to the Jeep or anything like that. I'm just going to require a drive roll.
We're driving on a giant millipede.
Hopefully.
I would also like to do a luck roll just to see.
Do it.
9.
9%. Yeah, so no, you managed to perfectly evade any major potholes, tire situations, stuff like that. As you're moving along, you were talking to them.
So I wanted to check my bags to see if I brought along an 8-track to play on the radio.
I will allow a luck roll. High good, high bad.
You have decided to
High bad.
just have it, didn't you?
High bad.
21.
You do have an 8-track. What would you like to be playing, my friend?
What we were listening to.
Okay, Fortunate Son by CCR is going to be playing through the Jeep. Not super loud because,
Yeah, it's
Anyway.
It's so good. It's so good.
If I could give inspiration in this game, I'm telling you.
Brandon bonus
If you would have failed, it would have been just a shittier.
I knew it. You were having
Donnie and Marie.
A
A little bit of Donnie. I'm sorry for any Donnie and Marie lovers.
I would have been leaping from the Jeep.
That's it. We just lost half our fans.
It's one of those things where I'm like, everyone else is like doing their own thing, and I search it and I'm like, oh, and I like reach over through and like just jam it.
Click, 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 click.
Hit play.
Danny. Anyway, as you're traveling along for a couple of hours, something that Ginny,
Okay.
I would like you to roll me a botany roll.
Botany roll.
Botany Bay.
26 out of 50.
Okay.
Nice.
So as you're going along for a couple of hours, you do notice specifically, as you're just sitting behind the driver's seat, I'm assuming, and then you'd be make it be behind Agent Helreck's seat. You do notice that it looks like, as you're traveling along, it starts off slight and then it gets a bit more pronounced. But the jungle vegetation, it seems to be diseased. Is the easiest way to put it. It seems to be wasting away. Like the vibrant colors, the healthiness of the plants do not look as healthy. And as you're progressing in, it almost looks like there's some kind of virus or something that is affecting the plant life. Does that make sense?
Okay. So it could be virus or fungal.
Yeah, it could be fungal. You're not sure. Like you just notice with your botany that there's something wrong with the vegetation.
This ain't all right.
Okay.
As you're traveling along, you're still traveling along, and it looks like it is quite pronounced on both sides of the road as you're now getting closer
Okay.
to said hospital. And another amount of time passes. Like I said, it's a fairly long drive, mainly because you have to go so slow in certain areas, right? There is, I'm just going to streamline it, but there is a couple of areas where there's a bit of brush that have came across the road, which are quickly just moved out of the way, and you continue along your way. The only reason I'm not stopping is there's no centipedes or spores or anything there as you're going.
Still no sound?
Oh no, there is at the daytime. There's the sound you can hear. You know what I mean?
Jungle noises.
Jungle noises. That's it. That's it. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Continue.
But now that you mention it, as you're coming along the straight, now you've been driving for a number of hours at this point. You do hear coming from the jungle to the right of the Jeep as you're going forward to the right inside the jungle. You do hear something that seems a little bit out of the ordinary. It almost sounds like squeals. Almost like you'd imagine. It almost sounds similar to like a boar or something like that, but like a squeal. And then it only happens for like 5-10 seconds. This one. Off to the side. And then as you're moving forward around a minute later on the other side in the jungle, you hear a bleating. But almost like a sheep.
Huh.
You hear almost like a weird sheep-like sound. Although nobody has zoology, correct?
Nope.
Okay. No, so you're not really sure of what it is, but it just seemed to be weird noises in a jungle,
Yeah.
right?
There's really
It's
thick
not known
here.
for boars,
Or sheep.
as far as I know.
Especially not known for sheep.
You know about
Unless
the giant
they were
centipedes?
snake.
You don't know about any boars?
I just don't know. Look it up right now.
Okay.
I mean, actually, none of you have zoology or know,
Nope.
right? Now, if there's something is those noises while you were working here, you can't recall hearing anything like those noises, except some weird noises and stuff used to come out of the jungle within a month of the evacuation.
Okay.
And that's where it's sort of almost like a, not PTSD, but it's like it's ingrained that you've heard these noises before.
I start driving a little faster.
You start driving a little faster.
Nurse Harrison,
Sorry, Agent Halbert? Is something wrong?
don't you sped up a bit? Or should we be concerned? Was the hospital frequented by visitors from the forest?
You mean it's like animals?
Yeah.
Oh, no more than anywhere else.
Are the ones that we're hearing, are they anything we should be on high alert, concerned about?
I don't know. I'm not an animal expert.
But you've been here before. Would you not have noticed or remembered if there was any aggressive creatures that would be around the
None that come to mind. The aggressors we were worried about was the enemy.
Were there farms nearby?
Yes, a few down by the village.
So
They were growing rice and other vegetables.
It would make sense that it would have possibly some livestock of some sort. They may not
No,
have
generally
birds.
they didn't. They were generally just growing fields.
So they wouldn't need anything for milk or for cheese or anything like that.
Not in this village. No, it wasn't. It wasn't very prosperous. They got most of their money from the soldiers who lived nearby.
And something I'm going to bring up as well, because of the way this settlement was more like a military outpost settlement, which people lived in, a lot of meat and dairy were flown in. So why have great like animals take care of when you could just the meat and the dairy and stuff like that was supplied by the government shipments, the military shipments, right?
Weird.
Or at least in this case. I'm not sure historically, but
In this case, because it's relatively isolated.
yes.
Well, I suppose nothing wrong with going a little bit quicker. Just be careful not to damage the jeep on the way.
Yes, sir. I just made me a little nervous.
Okay. Anything else? Trish is just in the back with the machine gun.
Any more of those
I'll
fucking
just be like,
centipedes?
I'm sure it's fine. It's jungle. Jungles have animals. And she just shrugs.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
She's not wrong.
No,
She is not.
no. Technically right. The best kind of way.
Yes. That's kind of right.
So, you speed up a little bit, and you come up to a bit of a tighter turn, and as you come around the turn, and you know you're fairly close to the hospital, you would assume, like, a couple of kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to the distance between the airstrip, if you will, the landing pad, and the settlement. So it seems fairly close, but very quickly you notice as you come around this turn that there is a huge chasm that has caved in where the road is, and I'm going to require a drive check.
Don't kill us right now. This is very quick, very short end.
These guys. Ooh, 89.
At least it's not 88.
That's true.
Yeah,
It is.
Roll me a luck roll. High good or high bad?
I'm gonna go with high bad. 86.
High
Nice.
is bad. As what happens is you come around the turn, sped up a little bit, still not going super fast,
No.
but fast enough to actually drive into the castle. Now, before this happens, I'm going to allow, now you're driving, so there's not much you can do there, but I'm going to allow the other 4 to roll alertness checks to see if they notice what's happening. Because you're trying to gain control.
Doesn't seem as cool now that I was standing in the back.
That actually is useful if you pass an alertness check.
It's true. It'll still be cool too. 54 out of 50.
Oh, can't burn luck in this game.
Yeah, now I'm gonna go flying from a jeep.
35 out of 60.
Okay, so you have succeeded on your alertness.
64 out of 20.
You have failed on your alertness.
A fail.
A fail on your alertness.
21 out of 50.
A pass on the alertness. Now, you are in the passenger seat. You are sitting behind the passenger seat, the seat behind him. You each can have an action as they're about to go into the chasm. I'm not saying it's a cliff face. You're not sure what the terrain is or how it's... You know what I mean? You're not driving off a cliff, right? But you can do something.
Oh god,
I-
what the hell?
Now,
She's hanging off the back.
Yeah.
yes.
I didn't see anything because I was rocking it.
Yeah.
I'm alerting her to it. I'm like,
Okay, so there's not a lot of time. So I'm going to throw out there pretty much the only things you can do,
you know,
Okay.
right? And you can come up with something and tell
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Bail. bail the fuck out. Now, because of your position, you can attempt to grab Trish and bail with her, but there will have to be a check made. If you fail said check, Trish will be off, but you'll be in the back of the Jeep. Okay? Does that make sense? Because of your location. Bail. But was there anything else you can think of to talk to me about?
I'm in the passenger seat. Can I make a drive check, trying to grab the wheel and steer it away from diving right into the chasm?
See, but at the moment, for that, I will allow it, but at a penalty. Because, what's your drive skill?
50.
Yeah, because what happens is as you're going to grab the steering wheel, Carolyn is gripping the steering wheel, trying to brake to not go.
Oh, I see.
So that's why
Okay.
the penalty's there, because it's happening the same time Carolyn is trying to stop it as well. But it would be at a
Well,
penalty.
I can't exactly reach back and grab you and take you with me. You're
No,
behind
it's
the
only you that's in that
I'm
position.
bailing.
I guess the other
That's what I'm going to do.
the other option you could do, actually, because of your location, is to you wouldn't be able to get out yourself, but you could throw Ginny out. She is sitting right next to you. You could quickly dump her over the side. But but you can attempt that. I would say it's at a minus 20% penalty, which means you have a 30% chance. These are the options I'm giving. I'm sure there may be some other things that people can think of, but I mean, this is a quick spur of the moment. So I'm going to go, and two of you just tell me what you're doing as I'm at 3.
Pushing her out.
Okay,
Aw.
Aww.
2.
Adorable. I'm bailing. What
Yeah.
else are we going to do?
Cool. So
Nothing else I
very
can really
quickly,
do.
Mick Quilty, hero extraordinaire. Now,
'Cause he's
you.
Canadian.
What happens is you just feel grabbed really quick, and there's no seatbelts in the back of this Jeep, by the way. Grabs you and sort of just tosses you out over the side of the open Jeep.
Wait, there's no seatbelts?
Not in the back.
Oh, the back. Okay. So
Right?
you've got one on.
Sure.
That's confidence right there.
Okay. So,
Sure, Carol.
you're being thrown out impromptu a bit. So I'm going to call for an athletics check. What is your
no.
athletics at?
30%.
With a minus 20.
Oh.
Well, because it's impromptu.
Yeah.
You don't know what's happening.
1%.
What?
1%! Okay.
No
Nice.
fucking
I will,
stick here.
well, I'm looking at it. I'm
The
looking at
most
it.
1% we've ever had.
Your,
In, like, a string.
your rolls are on
So,
fire.
you are bailing out.
Yeah.
So you get to make an athletics check at your full amount.
Which is just the base 30, which is 41 out of 30.
So put a tick in athletics.
Okay.
You put a tick in it. Okay. Now,
Oh, Lord.
you are like, he grabs you, and it's not that he throws you over, but he has enough to lift you up over and just toss you. You know what I mean? You like roll out over the top of the
Yeah.
Jeep. And as you're just turning over, you don't know where this comes from, but you push off from the side of the Jeep, and you sort of land in a skid up to the edge of the chasm perfectly. Like you don't even get dirt on your
Marvel
gloves.
Okay,
superhero.
John Wick.
Like perfectly,
Yeah.
right?
Get this man.
Actually, it was a 1% in athletics. So roll that d4. I thought it'd be rare. I thought
Yeah,
1%
As
nice.
soon as you offer us a benefit, we're like, oh no, we're gonna get that 1%. Oh, damn it.
You take 1 point of
Oh,
damage.
that's not so bad.
Right?
Dang.
Well, yeah, 41. Now, if it was a critical fumble,
Yeah.
done worse. But, yeah, you take 1 point of damage. What's your hit point total?
11.
11. So now you're at 10.
Correct.
Regular things, but 1 damage is more like bruise damage. You sort of land on your shoulder a bit, and you're just like, oh, you got like a muscle pain and stuff like that, and bruised.
Yeah, makes
Okay,
sense.
now you're a little. That's great. As you see the Kaiser go off the chasm.
Oh, yeah, I'm just.
So basically, there was. Well, you're not sure. what would have caused this, but you would assume an earthquake or something along those lines, that the ground gave way. Mm-hmm. It seems to be fairly long, but fairly thin, maybe only 30 feet across, which is still a fair distance, but it seems to be more steep on the other end, because as you come off this chasm, it's not as steep as the other end, but as you fly off and smack
We slammed
down,
into the other side.
you slam down the other side, and at this point, I'm going to roll something to see how poorly this goes.
Just a luck roll for the...
Okay, so, the Jeep flips, which throws you and throws you. Only the front seats had seatbelts. You clicked and bailed.
Yep.
You aren't thrown.
Okay.
But you're thrown, and you're thrown.
This is when I landed my own machete.
Don't give him ideas!
At this point,
Yeah.
I'm going to require athletic checks. It is at a minus 20%. You weren't preparing for this.
Yeah.
But it's an athletics check with minus 20. If that makes it 0, you automatically fail.
It's gonna be 30 for me now.
Sure, go ahead.
I want it passed. Not for that. 44 out of 30 for me.
78.
78 out of 30.
You both have 50 athletics.
Yeah.
My athletics is 30.
Oh, but minus 20%.
Oh,
makes it
yeah.
10. As you're both thrown out of the Jeep and hit the rocks
It's gonna be
And
worse for...
and roll. We'll see. We'll see. Well, you just keep it up now for a second.
Seatbelts are good.
Okay. Let's see how you two fare with your fails. Now, you have body armor on,
Yes,
right.
I have a barrier vest on.
which will help.
I didn't say I put my helmet back on though, and I probably wouldn't have. So. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You only take 1 point of damage,
Okay.
and it's because of your body armor.
Nice.
What is your hit point total? Oh, you have decent.
I'm at 14 out of 15 now.
Okay, and then what's your hit point total?
My hit point total is 12.
So you take 2 damage as you hit the ground quite hard.
Here's the getaway driver.
Right, rolling, and then we go back to the Jeep. That rolls a few times as you're tossed around. I'm actually just going to call for a Constitution check from you.
Okay.
What is your Constitution score?
It is a 12, so it's a 60.
I will have you roll your Constitution.
That's a 43.
Okay, so a success.
Yeah.
I need to roll something as well. Okay. Okay. As you're tossed around inside the Jeep, and it rolls, it goes down so far, rolls, and then luckily, because of something I just rolled, it goes back on its wheels and rolls. And you notice that it's a bit steeper here and a bit more here, but there is still a gap that keeps going down, and the Jeep just slides and one tire goes over the gap.
Ooh.
Just the front passenger tire as it stops, and you're sitting there and you're disoriented, definitely hurt. How many hit points do you have?
12.
I have the lowest?
Maybe.
No, you and I are on par.
Oh.
You take 4 points of
Oh!
damage from being
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Right.
we did say it was an open air Jeep.
3 points of damage. The bars of the Jeep will still protect you more, so I'm willing to give that benefit of a doubt as it's rolling, but kicked up rocks hitting you, being thrown around inside. 3 points of damage. Ow. Yeah. Yeah. That's what happens is it skids to the edge of a crevasse. And you are, like, you're not stunned. You haven't taken enough damage to be stunned. But you're...
Dizzy.
You know, and you're bleeding from the side of your head from probably a rock gave you a bit of a scalp wound and stuff like that. Everyone is on their ass except you. Who's just like looking down the crevice and you're just like, and then you see the Jeep just like slightly teeter. That front passenger tire.
I'll like be getting up like, hey, are you alright? Are you alright? Because you're the only person I can see.
I'm probably going to start heading down to get her out of the Jeep.
Okay, so you immediately start kicking down over the cliff face.
Yeah.
Taking your time or rushing?
Oh, I'd be taking my time.
Fair enough. Okay, so you're slowly kicking your way down. That's you. I'm just saying you're a bit dazed at the moment. You could do enough to take your seatbelt off.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I mean? You just take your seatbelt off.
I was gonna think to do the same thing too.
So
go
you
and check on Carolyn because we don't actually know. Like,
yeah,
I
it's a
don't
very
know.
shocking, jarring.
yeah, I don't know if she's
And that's where dice game comes in. Drive check, luck roll, I make a couple of rolls. I mean, very easily could have just stopped right at it,
Yep.
Kind of.
right? But this is how these things go. Yeah. So you get your seatbelt off, and you sort of pull yourself to your feet. I need you though to roll me a luck roll.
This will be when the giant centipede.
No.
No!
This will be,
I'm just joking.
this will be
It's
which
high,
your
good, or
weapons did you-
before you roll. High, good, or high, bad. Quickly.
Hi, bad.
High, bad.
46.
Okay, so that's good that your machine gun, you managed to keep a hold of it. Otherwise, it would have just rolled down into the crevasse. No, but you made your luck roll,
Yep.
Yeah.
right? So
Holy
you
Lord.
managed to keep a hand on
No, Deirdre. No.
it. Fair enough. And you sort of get your... It takes you a second because you're on your ass as well,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
she just rolled so well, but you
Yeah.
get up and you get to the point where, as you say, how are you doing? You see...
She's fine.
You see Ginny start working the way down the chasm, and I'm saying you get over and look down, and then you see sort of what I have explained.
Yeah, yeah.
Mick.
I'm slowly getting up, so getting my bearings and everything. And I see it teetering and everything.
Well, it's not actually like on the precipice. It's just when it's stopped because it's just that one tire. It doesn't seem to really at the moment be at risk of falling in. You are also quite aware that with the incline of where the Jeep is, you could probably drive the Jeep out of there. Like the Jeep, the Jeep there, you could.
That's what they're for.
Yeah, you could, but somebody'd have to be in it and risk it. Risk it for a biscuit.
I'll probably just be me.
Get the biscuit.
Yeah. So you managed to get to your feet.
And I see that everyone is like she's okay, and
as you look up on the hill that you flew over, you see a bit bruised up and covered in dust. Agent Halbrick sort of looking down, holding his shoulder a little bit. You see Ginny just doesn't really look hurt at all. Just start working her way down. You see Trish hugging her machine gun. And you see Carolyn seem to be in a bit of a daze in the seat of the
Alright,
Kaiser.
I'm gonna immediately go over and try to help her and stuff.
So
like
same
that.
thing. So you get to your feet and start working your way over. I'm assuming nobody's rushing in this chasm. Everyone's sort of watching their footing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're at the top. You just got your machine gun. Two of you are working your way toward Carolyn, and then you're going to be just behind them. And you're in. So I'm going to go to you next.
Okay.
Who you sort of come to your senses a bit. You can feel, you got blood just pooling down because scalp wounds bleed like a motherfucker.
Yes, then blood.
Okay.
I'm gonna slowly just stumble out of the Jeep.
Okay, so you get out of the Jeep. Cool.
And then I'm gonna take a few steps away from it, sit down and pull out my first aid kit.
Okay, you sit up on the, I'm assuming you're going to stay up looking. There's so many people on the, or are you heading down into this cabin?
No, because I guess I'm sussing out. Too many people will be helping out, or will be a problem. I am going to look around and see if there's any like sturdy trees that could be an anchor point. I don't recall if the Jeep has like a pulley on it, but I assume Jeeps they have like.
Well, they
winches in
do.
front.
They have hitches and stuff, right? Back and front.
Cool.
Right?
I'll suss out a tree that we can use the winch if we need to.
Okay, fair enough. Just roll me a survival skill. That's to find a tree with which could potentially have that.
95.
Well, you do find a tree that would work. You find the biggest type of tree you think that work. I'm just saying because that roll, you're not sure if it will.
Okay.
But you find the biggest tree that could potentially work for
Leave it to the survival experts.
That's true. So there would be a winch, which you could winch it up.
I guess I would just start calling down and be like, Mr. Mick, there's Harrison, Sergeant, are you all right?
I just sort of like tiredly wave at you.
Yeah,
And then go back to
I'm
the-
giving a single just
Who's not dead, Sam?
As Carolyn looks up, there's like blood coming down the
Jesus.
side of the face. But you're only up around 10 feet as the other, Trish, Ginny, and Mick. I'll make it to you. You've already got your first aid kit out. You're sort of wrapping your head up. I need you to roll me a first aid check.
I'm gonna go with the blue ones because they're pretty. That is a 61 out of 80.
So yeah, you do have a good first aid.
First
So you do succeed at your first aid check. And right away, you're going to heal 1 hit point.
Nice.
Once I'm done with my own, I'm gonna start with my own head wound. Once I've got that bandaged up, whoever reached me first, which I think was Mick, I'm gonna say, okay, sit down. I got this, and I'm gonna bandage whatever is currently.
So as you start standing up and asking Mick to sit down, the rocks on this chasm, like
Oh, God.
No, it's not like a landslide, but this is not a good surface
okay.
to be working on. It's only because you were sitting, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the other thing is, did you want to call out about the winch? Or?
Yeah. Is there a winch in the back of the Jeep?
Yes.
Yep. There's a winch.
We got a tree back here. We can probably get you guys out.
All right. So before she started, I'll thank her for.
No, sit down. I'm checking you for concussion.
We gotta get this Jeep out first. So I just get up and grab the winch. And
Yeah, and you release it, so you just take it with you and you start walking up the hill. Right? And as it starts uncoiling. That's fair. I'm assuming everyone's going to make their way out of the crevice.
Yeah.
The chasm.
Yeah.
Chasm doom.
You're right there, bud.
And,
You're right there, bud.
yeah. And you bring it up and he points out a tree. Can you roll me a survival check?
no. This is 67. I need a 50.
Okay, yeah. Fair enough. As you bring the winch up and you tie it.
Put a tick in it, though.
Oh, yes, you failed, so put a tick in it if you don't
Yeah,
have it.
I got a ticket in it. Yep.
So you bring it up and you wrap it around and then hook it on the side. Now you do know somebody will have to go down to the Jeep to with the little control panel to make it start winching.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's down there. Does that make sense? Okay, so now you're up top and it seems like the Jeep is secured to a tree, so it shouldn't be going anywhere. I'm assuming you're all going to, oh, Carolyn, take it away. Well, I mean, everyone, you wanted to check on people.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna check on people for whoever is injured. Just bandage people up and check for concussion is kind of my biggest things right now.
Okay, so 2 of you have only taken 1 point of damage.
Yeah.
So there's not much that, I'm just going to say that 1 point of damage, mostly, there's not much that can be done.
No.
But you've taken 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I will allow a first aid check on me.
Okay. Oh, 87. Sorry.
Yeah, at least it wasn't a fumble. Because she would have hurt you more. Yeah, so, it's mostly bruise damage. I mean, he's just going to have to recuperate and heal.
You're just gonna have to sleep.
Doesn't look like you have a concussion, though.
No. He doesn't look like he has a concussion at all. Concussions are bad.
Yeah.
It's my natural.
From what I can tell with my 87, so maybe you do.
87, but it's the medical 0087. Oh my god, this is coincidence, people. It's fucking coincidence. So, what? I'm just being mean. Let's keep this going. As you get up, you rest for a little bit. Who's going to head down to
I
do
will.
the control panel of the
Trish will.
Trish will. Okay, fair enough. What are you taking with you? Are you taking all of your gear with you?
No.
What are you leaving up?
I will leave
Nope.
the machine gun.
Yeah.
I'll actually leave everything except for the machete and the magnum, because the magnum's on my belt anyway, and the machete might be useful
Okay.
because it's multi-purpose.
And you start
Knives, man.
slowly working your way down. Now, with all the travel and everything going on with this little chasm, and because of how it already started moving, a little bit of a rock slide, your feet, the ground under you starts sliding.
Okay.
I need you to make me an athletics check. So you can cheat me for a second. Well, Scott, Yeah, athletics check.
49 out of 50.
Nice. Squeaking under there.
There are some pretty good checks that need to be made. Sort of not need, but
Would greatly benefit you if you made it.
yeah. So basically, you just go along with it and sort of just slide down the hill till you get to the back of the Jeep, and then you grab the Jeep and steady yourself so you don't slide right into the crevasse. The gap. And there's like a little control panel there, and you press one of the buttons, and it starts. It starts coiling up, and the Jeep starts pulling itself off the hill from the winch. You all up on top. The tree does move, like it's not ripped out of the ground or anything, but it looks like it's just barely doing it.
I back up a few steps.
Yeah. At this point, you found the tree. Can you roll me a luck roll? High good or high bad?
This is why I said I'm not getting in the Jeep to go
What
up.
if I don't want to?
Then it's not an outfit.
High,
High good or high bad?
good.
High is good. Higher's good.
39. So it's bad.
Hopefully you haven't killed me. What?
Hey, I got all the guns.
It's true. You guys got all my weaponry now. What good am I?
Oh my god.
You're a damaged sponge.
Yeah.
A damaged sponge?
I thought you said damaged sponge, and I was like, yeah.
So you're a little bit more than halfway up this castle, if you will. This, steep hill.
This incline.
This incline, yes. You're around halfway up this incline, and you all up on top notice the tree start breaking.
Agent Halbrecht?
You don't notice anything. It's just that.
Well, I would
Stop the winch, stop it.
stop the winch.
Yeah, you stop the winch.
Does it slow down the snapping of the tree?
Yes. It's that force of pulling, right? Because it's
Right.
pulling itself up by the tree, so when you stop it. But it is look like you aren't sure if the Jeep's going to get up. Now, it's around halfway up the incline. So, you could try to drive it.
Did
I
you
don't know.
say that the way this looked that we could drive the Jeep out of it?
Yeah, but the wary part is nobody was going to do it near the pit.
Yeah.
You're halfway away from the pit now.
Yeah, so like 15 feet.
Did you want to try and drive it out now? This tree's
With
not...
unsafe ground. But you can try it.
We can keep the tree attached as a failsafe in case you continue sliding back down, but I don't know if we should be guaranteeing putting all the weight on the tree right now.
Okay. How about I'll try it. And if it goes badly, I won't be wearing my seatbelt and I will bail.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you don't put the seatbelt on.
Yeah.
You actually take the door off and throw it because
use this.
it's easily to remove the
Yeah.
door.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
Okay, you
I'll
take
put
the
the
door.
door in the back seat. We can keep the door.
It's extra weight, but okay. You put the door in the back seat, and
Plus extra armor or something attaches from the side.
and you hop in. What is your drive skill?
40.
Roll me a drive check.
Not terrible.
Got this.
Not
I
terrible.
believe in you. I don't know why, but I do.
At least it's a 69.
Yeah, that's
Out of 40.
That's not a good thing.
69 out of 40.
So what happens is, as you're starting, I'm assuming you're going to try to back up over the hill, because you can't drive forward,
No.
because then you're going to pull on the tree. You don't have enough give unless you release the winch, which you're probably not going to do.
No.
So you start backing up, but the problem is the ground
Yeah. It's too loose.
starts giving away. But the problem is you're still reversing, and the ground is going, but you're not going anywhere. So if you stop reversing, yeah, so the ground is sliding the same amount as you're reversing.
Yeah.
Okay? And you know, the rocks are tumbling down and falling into that.
It might be best to trigger the winch while the winch is only activated from the back, isn't it?
Yes. But somebody else could run down to the winch and maybe work together with it.
Winch and the driver.
I'm going down.
I knew you'd say that.
He's the only one who can.
He's
He's also the only one with the
who
skills to do it
He's
besides
the
you.
only one who can fly us out of here.
Athletics check.
Unfortunately, he's the only one that can fix any of this shit.
Just a regular, straight-up athletics check. It doesn't mean you're going to fall into the pit and
I'm
die.
just curious. I'm more so curious. Like, would it be an athletics or dexterity check? Like,
athletics.
okay,
It's an athletic thing. I understand where you're coming from, but like, I understand that mostly you might want to use just a straight attribute, but if a skill will suffice,
Yeah,
usually
fair
go to
enough.
the skill.
yeah.
Oop.
I did not pay 55 out of 30.
55 out of 30. Of athletics?
Yeah,
What's your athletic skill?
30.
my athletics was 30.
Oh, your athletic. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong skill there. Yeah, that's alertness. Okay, so you start sliding down next to it. So you're sort of losing your footing, and you start sliding by.
Whoa!
Can I?
So
walk
while you got
down?
one
Yeah.
hand, you're gonna try to reach out
Yeah.
and grab him as he's going
Yes,
by.
it keeps stopping him.
You
from
roll an athletics check.
All right.
We should have jinxed all those good rolls, being like, hey, we had so many good rolls tonight.
What'd
Right?
you roll?
Exactly.
84 out of 50.
Okay. So she tries to grab you, and just as you get to the front of the Jeep, I'll allow you now to make a dexterity check.
Okay.
If it's not athletics, you're just trying to scramble to grab the Jeep.
Oh my god. 42.
Yeah, so you managed to grab just the wheel well
Yeah.
Right. Of the driver's side tire as it's kicking
Oh.
up dirt, and you manage to grab it, pull yourself to your feet. Okay?
Yeah.
As the ground is moving beneath you, an athletics check to get to the back of it. Well, with it plus 20%, because now you're using the Jeep.
Oh,
Okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah, with an extra 20.
We're all gonna die.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
30.
Eventually.
Don't forget to put a tick in athletics if you didn't already have one, because you did fail an athletics check.
Oh,
Right? Just a little. Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Take
As you pull yourself up to the front and you press the winch, now there is a little bit of slack that has already been generated, so that grows taut, but as the winch starts working and you start reversing, it pulls, you get the Jeep up there without tearing the tree out because,
It's not the full weight of the
Uh,
Jeep.
Probably should have
Yeah.
started with that.
yeah, but it wouldn't have taken as long, yeah? So you pull the Jeep up. See, even with a few flips, a little bit of exterior cosmetic damage, other than that, it's fine. It's fine.
You two alright?
Fine, sir.
Fine as I can be.
You look
You're sure?
Well,
I didn't slip down over, so
That's true. What's down there?
a hole.
But what caused it? Was it a...
You're not wrong. He's not technically.
Jesus.
Yes,
The
but
void.
continue your thought.
Is it a river, a washout, or was this an earthquake? This wasn't here before. I feel like that's obvious because the road goes right through it, but
Incredibly, I don't think any of us, our subject matter experts or geologists.
Well, we have
I can
more.
scientifically say it's a hole.
Yeah.
Christ.
sweet.
Yeah, none of you has.
I'll just
a
say,
relevant-
sir, I think we have a more pressing problem at the moment. If this is the road in and out, and we currently cannot drive across it, where are we gonna go?
There's only about maybe 2 kilometers left, which is
Well, I mean,
a mile and a half.
But we have to find a way across. We don't. How far along does this thing go?
well, see, you're not entirely sure. Now, you're pretty sure it doesn't go around the world, so
There is an end to the crevice at some point.
you would just have to travel through the jungle in one of the directions till you found it. But then you have the Jeep on this side now that you can come back to and take back
Yeah.
out that way. You can't take the Jeep through the jungle.
Unless we find some way to climb the other side.
We did very good at climbing this side, and it's not a sheer wall. I think walking around might be the better option. Although perhaps we should turn the Jeep around so it's ready to go that way.
Sure.
I don't know.
I'm just picturing Austin Powers getting his stuff. Like,
Yep.
Can I take a look in the crevice and just look in either direction and see if I can see which side it going to get narrower on?
Oh,
or
okay.
If I can tell which direction would be more advantageous to travel down?
Fair enough. That would make sense. That would be a survival check.
Okay.
So I'm using survival for a lot of things like that. When it comes to seeing tracks where they shouldn't be and stuff like that, I'm using it as a little bit of a catch-all. What'd you roll?
100.
You rolled 100%. So, you look down, you look back and forth. Oh yeah, that way's definitely. That way is definitely the quickest way. That way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you can see. You can see how the.
Yep.
So, like,
you
the-
Robert, you see how
yeah.
how the rocks, the way they're falling? It's going to be the end, right? Just behind that.
All right. And I don't have any. Yeah. All right.
I don't have any way to object to
Her
this.
being a nurse, like
No, she knows her stuff. She's been in this region before any of you. What are you trying to say, Mick Quilty? I understand your point, but I mean, she looked. She thinks that way is the best way. I know. See, it's one of those things where the players know that a player has fucked up a
Yeah,
check,
I know it sucks.
but your characters don't know that the check was failed.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
she seems really sure. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
And
But
that's-
it's one of those things, not to like argue the point, like if it is, it is. But it's like being in the woods and being used to being like
That's a fair
autonomous,
assessment.
right?
I kind of think if anyone around the table would question and
I'm
say,
thinking that
it
as well.
would
It's
only
the
be
only
you.
person.
Yeah.
I will allow
And
Mick Quilty to double make a survival check
That's
or a military science land.
I wouldn't second guess it except for the land expert saying it otherwise.
Oh my god, every time you put them in there.
Just toss him into the tray.
86 looks good to me.
Okay, there we go.
Now we have the person who's been in the area and a survivalist expert say this is also the correct
Listen,
way.
this is what people do. We follow the people who seem most confident.
It's true.
Yeah, but there's also
And
the
here we
properly
are.
trained.
Oh, I know, but that doesn't stop, humans in general.
So
We're all gonna die.
you collect your things together.
Yeah.
But I'm
And-
100% in health, so I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm only 1 hit point down. I'm alright.
And you start heading toward the definitely shortest route.
Mhm.
Definitely.
We just stretched this out for another episode, didn't we?
Added another hour on there at least.
Yeah, so basically we're going to start off with, it is quite long. It's hard to travel through the jungle. It's very time consuming because of the overgrowth and everything else, and you're, careful footing.
What's our order?
Machete.
Yeah, okay, so you could be leading, chopping at the ground with a machete. I'm still saying it's going to take
Yes, I know.
time.
I know. I need to make myself useful.
And now,
You are very useful. You have a machete.
And now?
I get to do another delay.
Oh.
What does that mean?
It sounds weird because you did have a night's rest and blah, 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 and I don't factor that as a delay. But any time during this whole scenario, and this is the way I, as a handler, likes doing things sometimes, or these style of games, is any time where the group takes a path or does something or fails a check that costs time, I make a checklist, and at certain points, there's things that happen at certain checklist points. Right?
Yep.
Cool. You okay? Agent Halbrick's having a moment. So you you're hacking through the machete, which does make it go a little bit quicker as you're going along. The chasm and stuff stays pretty pronounced, but it is cutting in slightly. But after around an hour's travel,
Oh, Lord.
I'm really tired.
after around an
I
hour's
don't usually hike like this.
Just imagine if we had gone the other way.
Oh, that would be so much
You're such a good addition, man. It was great. That's a perfectly delivered.
Fuck.
Perfectly delivered.
Imagine we got the other way. Touche!
It's a great line. Great delivery. It's a great delivery.
Stupid!
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so an hour goes by. And it's shortened to around,
It hurts.
Ow.
Ow.
Shortened to around a 25-foot gap or whatever. It just seems like to be cut in. As you just continue along your way, I will ask for who has the best survival skill.
I have 30.
Mine's 50.
Anyone beat 50?
I don't think so. I'd be surprised if I beat McQuilty here. Yeah, no, that's a base 10.
You're going to make a survival check for everybody.
Okay. 58.
58 is a fail, so you continue on again through the jungle.
We're never going to get there.
No.
As it winds out again.
We live here now.
Yep.
They've forgotten about us already.
Time passes differently every time.
Time is a jungle.
So, yeah, it widens out a little bit. Eventually, you do come to a point where it starts tightening in. But basically, the delay is this. Okay, this is what the reason that this is delay is. You travel so far this way, and then you cross. Well, then you need to travel back to the road. Unless you decide you just want to randomly travel through the jungle toward where you think the hospital is.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
Back to
Because you're
where
not
we
sure if
go.
it's in front of you, you just know the distance.
Sounds like a great plan.
Okay? So, yeah, it takes a few extra hours.
Oh, God.
It was already over 4 hours to this
I hate
point.
this jungle.
So
I hate this jungle.
we are dealing with around a 3:30 p.m. situation as you get back to the road.
Oof.
Right? Because it was 4 hours and
Yeah.
then wasted some more hours.
At least we didn't
And
have
we're
to
on
do any
foot
jobs
for the
anyway.
rest of it?
Yeah, but it's only supposed to be around a couple of clicks. Right? Because I did mention that it seemed to be that Carolyn thinks it'll only be a couple of clicks. You come back, you're on the wrong side. What happened? What happened?
Hey, there's a Jeep waiting for us.
That was nice of them.
Wow, lovely. It's uphill both ways. All right, shall we?
Oh, where else are we gonna go?
Yeah, at this point.
Can we continue down the road to the hospital?
Yes, so you continue. It's a little bit windy, and you're all a little bit beat up and stuff like that. I'm going to go ahead and say, you took supplies from the Jeep.
Yeah.
That's a safe assumption.
It's a safe assumption that you were taking
I took
things.
my entire bag, so I didn't leave anything behind.
I'm assuming that you're weighed down like a pack mule.
I look like I'm more metal than human.
All machine now, the man.
Basically, what he
But
said.
imagine you went the other way. Anyway, and you continue up the road. As you're walking now, and you're not just in the Jeep, Ginny, you notice that the plant life is decaying, if you will. It seems to be hanging on, and it's not like it's collapsed or anything, the jungle itself, but there's definitely some measure of rot or some kind of...
Like wither.
Did you want the wither? The nothing? The empty? Did you want to you roll a botany check? Did you want to take a closer example and roll a botany
that
check?
would be, yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
69.
69 again? What is this new devilry?
It's only like hundreds, ones, and 69s.
Ah, yeah.
What?
Fair enough. So you're just looking at it, and it's like, you can't really pick up on what's causing it, or is it an infestation of a certain type of insect? You're not entirely sure. Is it a fungal thing? You're not entirely sure. It just looks, but you can see like black lines through the trees itself and stuff like that, as if there's some kind of, even without a check, you can see that there's some kind of rot there. You just don't know what's causing the rot.
I will probably take a sample of that as well.
Okay.
I'm just from there to take samples.
Oh, you're not just there you are there to be a fully functional player and character in this campaign.
And to take samples.
Yeah, and gather information.
Yeah, no, I'm taking
You
samples.
got this!
Oh, fine, great.
Just
okay.
just make sure you write down and keep a note of whatever you did. And yeah, so you take a couple of minutes and do that as we hit 4 p.m.
Fuck.
A couple hours till nightfall.
I was gonna say we're gonna get to the hospital after dark.
Actually, no, you will get there with some time. You will get there with some time before it gets dark, but you're not going to have that much time before it gets dark. And the reason I know that is, as you're walking forward through the trail, eventually, you come up to like an opening where it opens up into a large open area, and up ahead you can see a fairly large structure that looks very familiar to you, Carolyn. It is the hospital. So there's this large clearing and there's a road leading in. You're still like jungle here, so you're just seeing off in the distance, so you're not sure what's around. You know what I mean? Until you get a bit closer, which I'll describe in a minute. One thing you do notice about the hospital, it definitely does look damaged. It looks like a fairly large, or a significant portion of it seems to have been damaged by a fire or burnt out, collapsed in on itself. But there is still, you know what I mean? Structurally, a hospital there, even though it is not in the condition it was when you left. As you all move up to the line, I'm going to sort of describe the clearing to you and what you see, okay? So up ahead, you do see the hospital. To your left, around 60, well, actually, I'm going to say a couple, 150 feet, actually. I'll say 150 feet. Because it's a fairly, opened clearing. You see two of the same size quantits as you saw at the airfield, except there's two of them side by side. So there's two of these fairly large quantits. You can notice off in the distance and it's almost like the ground goes down a little bit. Just a little down. And there's, you got the quantits over here, you got the hospital here, and you can see some sheds and stuff. Up against the jungle on the far, far end.
Past them.
Yeah. Who has the best alertness?
I have 50.
I have 60.
I think 60 might have it.
60. Yeah, I have 40,
Definitely
so.
has to have 50.
Right? Yeah.
I have just base.
Okay, no, so I'm having I'm going to have Mick roll for everybody. It does seem weird because it seems like, it's almost decreasing the chances of you
But it's
getting
also
bonuses.
decreasing the chances of us rolling critical fails.
Correct. Yeah, but it's also just less dice rolls.
52.
52 out of 60?
Yeah.
Nice.
52 out of 60. And I will describe what that is next episode!
Oh, God.
Delta Green!
Thank you for listening to The Call 1973. The next episode will premiere Tuesday, March 5th at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on YouTube before going up on all of our audio services 1 hour later. Support us on Ko-fi. A single coffee just one time gets you into the community Discord, and if you're able to provide continued support, you get access to behind-the-scenes commentaries. Speaking of which, our next subscriber commentary will take place Wednesday, February 21st at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is tomorrow for those of you that are listening to this episode live. Please review the Ko-fi video for info on how to join us, and Spacers has begun recording new episodes with the Cortex Prime system. Its air date will be announced once we have enough episodes to post. As usual, we'd love to thank all of our donators on Ko-fi, including James, Baba Yaga, Austin Jenkins, The Weejay, Tyler McDonald, Rosa, Josiah, TJ, Edward, Autumn, Three Slugs in a Trenchcoat, Noah, and Matty Cowgill. Thank you all for your support. Your players for tonight were Elizabeth Wells, Janessa Coles, Lindsay Delansky, Scott Gillis, and Zach Barrett. Your GM or handler was Derek Snow. Have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you next time.